Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is Yaso here. So, check out these hits. Guess who that champion is? That champion is Alika. Now, she is one of the most underrated epic champions in Raid Shadow Legends. However, she has some of the highest damage multipliers in the entire game. So what I did was I built her up and brought her to Clan Boss, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to showcase her damage potential. Alright, so Alika is on the far left of my team. And let's go ahead and start observing her damage. And while we do that, I'll be going over a few things. So why do we want to use Alika? We want to use her because she can put out a lot of damage. Her damage multiplier is insanely high, and she is actually among some of the hardest hitting epic champions in Raid Shadow Legends. And you can take advantage of her damage, especially if you could get her critical rate up and increase her critical damage. Preferably, what you want to have on her is as close to 100% critical rate as possible, and you want her to be equipped with the critical damage necklace. That's how you get more damage out of her. A max build Alika can keep up with the damages of poisoners. So in a clan boss team, you don't always have to have poisoners. Sometimes it's better to run pure damage units. And of course, that really depends on your gears and team composition. So to make Alika work in clan boss, you need champions that can give her more turns so that she can put out more damage. And you need champions that can keep her alive. Therefore, she is best in a speed team. For me to make this work, I brought in both Seeker and Sephi, which covers multiple buffs and turn meter manipulation. Seeker gives her increased attack while also boosting turn meter by 30%. Sephi gives her increased defense, block debuff, and increased speed, and more turn meter manipulation. Plus, Sephi has a revive that helps keep Alika in the battle in the later rounds. So I also ran a few other clan boss battles, and let's check out some of these other screenshots and take a look at Alika's damage and compare her damage to my other damage dealers. The reason why I'm showcasing these images is so that everyone can also see how much damage Alika can put out in one clan boss battle. In all of these screenshots, she's hitting over 10 million per battle. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to speed up this clan boss battle, and at the end of this battle, I'll go over her gears, her masteries, her stats, and her abilities. Alright, so let's go over her abilities real quick here. And her A1, it is Gap Shot, and it attacks one enemy and has a 30% chance of placing a extra hit. And the cool thing about this is that the extra hit is always critical. And if you do book this ability here, then that 30% chance does go all the way up to a 50% chance of placing the extra hit. And then on her A2, it attacks one enemy and it ignores 50% of the target's defense if their max HP is higher than this champion's max HP. The cool thing about this ability is that whenever you do decide to book it, then it drops down to a 2-turn cooldown. And because this ability does ignore 50% of the target's defense, especially if you're fighting against a clan boss and that clan boss has higher HP than this champion, which is always the case, then this ability hits quite hard. And then now on her A3, it attacks all enemies and has a 35% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 1 turn. And this ability here is actually not really efficient in clan boss, and basically you don't ever want to use this ability here. However, in arena, this ability here is actually quite nice. Basically what this ability does is that it locks down the enemy champions for 1 turn, and that 1 turn in arena could mean a lot. Alright, and then for her masteries, I went with the offense tree and the defensive tree. For the offense tree, I went down and grabbed War Master. This is pretty much a must for any champions that doesn't have 3 hits on their A1. And that's basically to add damage. And then for the defense mastery, I took all these, I took defensive and anything that pretty much mitigates damage. And then the one that you want to have on her is this counter attack mastery, which is Retribution. And basically it has a 50% chance to counterattack whenever this champion loses 25% of their max HP from a single enemy skill. Because Alika does have really low defense, then she does have more chances of proccing this mastery here, which allows her to counterattack quite often. Alright, so now let's go over her gears. Basically her gears, I have her in lifesteal and speed set. So as you can see right here, all of my lifesteal gears has crit rate, speed, and crit damage. Yeah, only 6% is crit damage, but basically what I want on her is to be able to put out as much damage as possible. And because I want that on her, then I'm putting gears with crit rates on her so that she could crit often. And then her chest plate is attack percentage, and again that's speed and crit rate. And then for the gauntlet, because I am putting a lot of crit rate on her, I do have the critical damage gauntlet on her with more crit rate and speed. And then for her ring, I have her in defense. Basically I want attack, but then I don't have any attack ring for my barbarian. For some reason I just can't seem to farm one. And then for necklace, I have critical damage, and for the banner I have attack, and that's with speed. So here are my stats for her. She has 26k HP, 3.3k attack, 2.2k defense, 229 speed, and then what you really want out of her in order for her to put out a lot of damage is her critical rate and critical damage. So my critical rate is 105 and my critical damage is 221. For Alika, because I am using her in clan boss, I'm not using a lot of accuracy on her and resistance. However, if you do decide to use her in arena or other content, then putting accuracy on her does help. Alright, and since we're talking about arena, the next couple of clips that I'm going to be showing here is showcasing her damage potential in the arena. And this is Gold 4. The next clip here is showcasing Alika in the Dragon Dungeon. Now, she's not the most efficient in speeding up your dungeon runs, and that's because of her lack of AoE attacks, but then she is there as a single target nuker, which can really help in killing the dragon faster. And as an overall conclusion, I do think that she is a very underrated champion. However, she does require some really insane gears to make her work. Her damage multiplier is one of the best in Raid Shadow Legends, and you could definitely bring her into a clan boss. She is able to keep up with the damages of your poisoners, especially if you can gear her right. And for arena, she can put out a lot of damage. She is basically a single target nuker. And then for dungeon runs, she can be quite slow, but then if you need some extra damage, then definitely bring her along. Now, would I recommend bringing her to 60? And that really depends on your team composition and what champions you have access to. Now, she does not work in all team compositions, and she does require being paired with champions that can give her that survivability for her to stay in the battle. She's pretty much like a glass canyon. She can put out damage, but then she dies pretty quick, and that's why she needs that extra survivability. And that's all I have for today. If you have any questions for me, then please let me know in the comment section below. And if you like the video, then please click the like button below and subscribe to my channel. It really lets me know how well I'm doing, and I appreciate that. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.